Old Man Nerd here, and we're going to take a look at another old laptop. In this case, it is a 10-year-old Sony Vaio. It is an VGN FW250J. The processor in it is, I think, it's a Core 2 Duo P8400 or something like that. But I just upgraded it to this $20 Best Buy 120 gig PNY SSD. Now, before I had a 7200 RPM Western Digital Black in it. I needed it to be a little faster because, unfortunately, with my Dell E1505, the now 13-year-old laptop, which runs great on the SSD in Windows, it has a dedicated graphics card, and I was able to do a workaround to get a driver loaded. But unfortunately, the driver is not working for 3D acceleration. I tried to play some old games, and there's just no 3D acceleration whatsoever. So there's no point in trying to keep that laptop around. But I do still need a work laptop that I can use Internet Explorer for accessing my company's internet. And this one is great. It's a 16.4-inch screen, and it's absolutely gorgeous, which I love it. So I spent the $20 on the SSD, and I had to spend $750 on a new power jack because I broke it. But let's just see just how fast this thing can actually boot up here. That's 10 seconds. $20 seconds. And 30 seconds. I mean, you still got some, it's not perfect. I mean, that's nothing compared to like a modern PC. It can boot up in like 10 seconds total, but it is a slower processor, so it gets the job, but it does get the job done. And it's plenty responsive. And let's see here. Of course, Avengers Endgame is going to change the MCU. Looper. So yeah, there's no problems loading videos, running them at quality. No thanks. I don't want your stuff. Let's see here. Let's try to force it to 1080p and see what it does. Yeah, 1080p is a little bit past what it can do, apparently. Let's try 720p. Jitters a little bit there. Okay, there we go. Now we're running at 720p and we're not having any problems. Running that. So, can't quite handle 1080p. But it will do what I need it to do, which is the company intranet. Oh, yeah, that was maxing out the CPU too. Yeah, it's a P8400 at 2.26 gigahertz, so it's doing something, maxing it out. But it still seems pretty responsive despite having something. Oh, it's just software removal tool is running in the background, whatever. So, I mean, it's still fairly responsive despite that. The folder's just fine. So, yeah. Again, this will do what I need it to do, which is just access my company's internet on Internet Explorer. And the pages come up fine. I mean, and browsing works fine, YouTube works fine. So just limited to 720p. It shouldn't have any issues. Even with it doing something in the background, it's still more than fast enough to get the job done. Oh, it's doing Windows Update. That's what. I haven't turned it on for a couple weeks, so it's trying to update itself. But despite that, it's running fine. Let's see, what is it doing? Yeah, it's updating itself. So that's probably why I couldn't run in 1080p, because it was updating itself. So I'm sure once the updates are done, the 1080p will work fine. But for now, even running updates up into 720p was fine. So yeah, so this is another old laptop. It's Core 2 Duo. It's 10 years old, but it's got an absolutely gorgeous 16.4-inch screen, which is hard to pass up. And the battery lasts for a good 10-15 minutes, which is more than enough to move it around if I need to move it around. And again, it's just a $20 Best Buy PNY SSD, 120 gig. Probably should have stepped up to $30 and get the 240 gig, but I'll live with this because it doesn't really need to have anything on it as it is. And yeah, it's got 83 gigs free of 111 because there's nothing on it. There's nothing I need on it except for Internet Explorer and Firefox. So let me know what you think about this 10-year-old laptop, which runs way better than my 13-year-old laptop, because it is at least one generation newer, if not two, as far as the processor goes. And the screen is just way better. So this is going to be my new work laptop, the E1505. While I still have it, it is going to be regulated to doing not much, because it no longer can do what I want it to do unless I go back to Windows 7, which I really am not wanting to do, especially with support for 7 ending here shortly. So yeah, this is a 10-year-old Sony Vaio laptop. Once again, an old laptop saved by a cheap SSD. And you know, again, to just to clarify, you don't need to worry about cheap SSDs on these older ones, because they're limited to SATA 1 anyway. So you're not going to you can't get the SATA 3 speeds. So if these cheap drives don't reach maximum SATA 3 speeds, it doesn't matter, because you're limited to SATA 1 anyway. That's what I got to say. So this is my new work laptop here, the Sony Vaio, and it runs absolutely fantastic, even when running Windows Update. And thanks for watching.